Streaming connected. Audio check.
Good.
Camera check.
Ready to go.
Everyone quiet, please. JCW Lunacy Post Show 2026. Mac ready?
Mic's up.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
Well, we'll get rid of that. Maybe that'll help if we'll pop up on the screen anytime soon here. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the JCW Post Show, Backstage Lunacy. I'm Mac Davis, and of course, with me, supposed to be on the screen right now, are my two comrades. And let's see if we can go back up this way. Here we go. I found us. There we go. Good to see everybody in here. Let me introduce who we have. We have Jeff Lane in here with us. Of course, many of you may recognize Jeff from many of the Vince Russo brand programs and other shows that he does. And also we have the beautiful juggalette, Noel Harlow. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys tonight?
Man, I'm doing great. This was a hell of a show tonight. A lot going on. We start this show tonight, guys, really off kind of hot. Big VITO, PCO, and Mickey Knuckles claiming, of course, Big VITO claiming that he was set up with a beatdown by Jasmine St. Clair's Monster Corporation, orchestrated by VIOLENT J. So VITO says he welcomes VIOLENT J back with open arms. And my guess is, Jeff, that he has ulterior motives.
Well, doesn't he always? You know what's tricky about wrestling, and I thought that this was done well. When you watch a regular television show and they have a cliffhanger, when you watch the next week, it's like the minute after, the second after, a couple hours have passed. Well, you can't do that in wrestling. An entire week has passed since the limo incident. Yes. So how do you cover that? Well, you cover it exactly like you did. VITO, of course, he got away. They didn't kidnap him for a week. They do, his eyes looked amazing, doing all that. So I thought this was well done. And of course, the Juggalos didn't want to hear any of VITO's mouth tonight, I think.
No, it's funny. When I was there filming some of the stuff that we'll see tonight, a lot of the fans had very choice words for VITO throughout the entire night. But you mentioned his eyes because, he got beat up from the last show to this show and had two black eyes. Looked like he may have been playing. Somebody might be in the makeup drawer. He might have two black eyes. What were your thoughts, Noel?
I don't know where he would have got all that makeup from. No, I like the continuity. I think that sometimes continuity is lost when you have a wrestling show that goes week to week to week. It's episodic TV, guys. You got to make it flow correctly. This is how you make it flow correctly. I thought it was done perfectly. I am so intrigued with VITO and the Brothers of FUNSTRUCTION that this has kept me tuning in week after week after week. I need to know what he knows. I got it. And the chat blew up. They were guessing in the chat during the show. What is this all about? What are you guys talking about? We need to know, VITO. Tell us. And he still has yet to tell us what he knows about the Brothers of FUNSTRUCTION.
He also, by the way, tonight made a massive match for the end of the show, which will be a World War III elimination match between the Mafioso, which includes VITO, PCO, and Mickey Knuckles. And they'll be going up against the Monster Corp of Kong and Mr. Happy and Beastman. And so it'd be interesting to see what happens later tonight. Also, finally, because we all have really heard enough from VITO, he calls out the Brothers of FUNSTRUCTION, tells them, as you were just referring to a minute ago, Noel, that this is their last opportunity to come clean. And if they don't, VITO says he's going to expose them. And, they look at VITO and basically tell him to shove it up his ass. Jeff, what did you think about that?
Well, I thought we can't overlook Ruffo squeaking. I mean, that was parts of the show that popped me. I watched it twice. Like it popped me both times. So the way that these guys get their antics into whatever they're doing, whether it's wrestling, whether it's backstage with VITO, whether it's in an in-ring, like that is a gift.
Yes.
That's a gift to be able to do that while remaining who they are, getting the story across. These guys, they blow me away every single time. And I see more and more fans and feedback loving the Brothers of Funstruction every single week.
Absolutely. Noel, what did you think about the situation with the exposing of the Brothers of Funstruction?
I'm a lot like Jeff. I'm really excited to see more of what the Brothers of Funstruction have. If you are somebody that's a long-term wrestling fan like myself, I've watched my whole life. To watch somebody be able to work a character like that. The first time I saw them come out and I said, how are they going to wrestle in those shoes? Like, how are they going to run the ropes in those shoes? Like, being a wrestler in my younger days, holy cow, like, how are you running the ropes but these guys do it. They come up with innovative ways to continue to get us invested in these characters. And here we go. Now we have VITO involved in this. And I'm serious. Every week I'm invested to see what tricks they're going to pull on VITO, what VITO knows about them. And it just keeps going. And as I'm on social media, I see them showing up more and more and more in other places. These guys are stars. These guys are stars.
It's funny that you brought up the Brothers of Funstruction in those shoes, because over the weekend, I actually asked that question. I was like, how do you guys wrestle in these shoes? I used to be in the ring too. So I know, your footwork is extremely important. And when you see those big old shoes on them, you can't help but wonder, how do you move around and have a match without breaking an ankle or anything else? And they were a little key here. If you notice, they do a lot of, they raise their legs pretty high off the ground when they're walking. And the reason for that is not for the comedic effect, but because it keeps him from tripping in the ring, which is why they have to raise their feet so high so that they don't drag the top of the shoe and trip.
I want to know what size shoe they really wear.
Each other out. How the hell they wrestle in those shoes?
What size shoe do they really wear, Mac? That's a question that I want you to ask them. What is your shoe size?
I'll ask them that next time I see them. I'm sure they'll tell us. Also, I do want to mention, if you want to be a part of the show tonight, super chats are how you do that. You simply come in, get a super chat, ask a question, and we'll throw it up on the screen, and you'll become a part of the show. It's just that simple. Also, while you have a chance, go down and hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way, anytime we go live, you know it's time to join us here for the show every Thursday night. We also have, City by the Bay saying we need more JCW merch, jerseys, jackets, more. And that was brought up in a meeting last night we had on the telephone, actually, that is in the works. So stick around. There's a lot of new merch coming your way. And
yeah, that stuff is coming. But also, guys, you got to check out this book if you haven't seen it. I know it's in the background. This book is bigger than my head. This is the Insane Clown Posse in Wrestling Volume 1. The pictures in this thing is absolutely amazing. You can get this right now in the vault. Highly recommend. I'm not even pointing at it right.
Can you grab that book and show it to the camera where we can see it?
What's going to happen is I'm going to knock it over. When we go on a break with the video, when you play one of your videos, I will grab it. I think we lost you for a second.
That sounds
there he goes. He's back.
He's back. All right. Okay.
All right. Let's talk about our first match of this evening. It was Disco Ray, my first time seeing Disco Ray, versus Facade in a non-title match. Facade was after Disco, he wins after Disco got distracted by the one and only Ring Rat and the cake that she brings to the ring every week. Noel, what are your thoughts about the Ring Rat and the problems or the good things that she can bring to a wrestler?
Poor Ring Rat. Her name should be something like athletic supporter or something. Like, Ring Rat is so harsh. This poor child. The Ring Rat. Hey, listen, I'll tell you what. She's a good distraction. And sometimes when you're out at the ring and you're a wrestler and you're in there, you need a good distraction. And the cakes are caking. She gets out there and she shakes it nobody else. Those cakes are caking. And this guy, Disco Ray, this is my first time seeing Disco Ray too. So I think he could use that. They make a good little Saturday Night Fever, I think, together. I liked it. What did she call it? Sex chips?
Yeah, I was going to ask you this. Can anybody tell me exactly what sex chips are?
I don't know, but they need to sell them.
Yeah.
You guys can sell sex chips. Just put her ass on the bag put it in the vault, and they will sell out. I'm telling you.
It needs to
Maybe
be
they have them
family
in
size.
Vegas. They have them in Vegas when everybody goes to Vegas for Stranglemania. Maybe we'll have a bag of sex chips. You guys, that'd be the place you'd have them.
Hey,
Would
there's
be
another
Vegas,
merch
I would
idea.
assume.
Sell them.
That's a great merch idea right there. Just get a bag of chips called sex chips.
Sex chips. Everybody needs sex chips now and again, right?
Yeah, if you're hungry. But I have to say, the Ring Rat name, I'm going to push back on that a little bit. I think that name is genius. And the reason why I think it is genius is because a lot of times wrestlers' names sometimes don't fit with who they are. How did she debut? In the front row as a groupie for Caleb Conley. She was a ring rat. The name fits perfectly. And now every time she's on the screen, if you guys are in the live chat, and shout out to everybody that's there every single week, you guys are friggin' awesome.
Yes.
They put the emojis of a ring and a rat, and they're flooding the chat every time she's in there. I think that name is freaking genius. No matter where she goes story wise, I don't think she should change the name, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that name came from VIOLENT J, as a matter of fact. He came up with that gimmick, and I made a comment that I thought that was like very unique but good gimmick, because over the years, a lot of us who have been involved in wrestling, and even those who have been watching, have heard about the ring rats, and usually it's a very negative type of comment, but the truth is she plays the ring rat to a T. She knows exactly what a ring rat is supposed to be, and she does a very great job with
and she's proud to do it too. She says, I am the ring rat. She takes that character and just takes a hold of it.
That's the great thing about the back of the locker room with all these guys in the back. They love what they're doing. They are invested in those characters so that you can believe and be entertained by these characters. I made a comment the other day that the first time I heard there were zombies on the show, when Vince Russo had mentioned to me there's zombies on here, I was like, what the hell? I watched it, and it's some of the most entertaining tag team wrestling that I have seen in years. And them and the brothers of FUNSTRUCTION, guys, I don't know why they're not sitting in a group like WWE or one of these other big guys, because they are that talented, especially just the little things that they do to make you believe. Also, we have Mark Parkey Stream saying, hey, Noel, I love your makeup. Superb, doll.
Thank you.
Also,
I love doing makeup.
Also in Super Chat, we got I can't see that. So tiny right there. Hang on for a minute. TII5 Wrestling. Am I saying that right?
Till 5. It looks like Till 5 Wrestling.
Till 5. Okay. Noel and Vito, the Thursday night power couple. And by the way, Big Vito will be our live special guest coming up later this evening. We'll be taking questions from you for Vito. Ask him absolutely anything, or just make a comment about him, whatever you feel like doing. This will be a great night to beat up on Vito. I'm sure he appreciates that.
It's always a good night to beat up on Vito.
Look here, we did see that Vince Russo has some issues with KERRY Morton. And he actually sent KERRY Morton to Japan for an attitude adjustment. I thought that was a perfect thing to do with KERRY Morton. Jeff, what about you?
Well, yeah, and you would have to, I'm assuming here, I don't know this for a fact, but a lot of times when you have indie shows, things overlap. Okay, hey, we got a show this night. I'm already booked. That's just the nature of the business. So I'm assuming, and I don't know this for a fact, that KERRY Morton was probably booked elsewhere this weekend. So you cover that with this. Send his ass to Japan, right? And I know, listen, I worked for Vince. He's tried to send me to anywhere you can think of just to get rid of me. So I know that that's how he works. But, sometimes it's tough when you're trying to do consistent storylines and just the nature of the beast. People can't be there every week, but to at least give some sort of explanation why they're not there, that's always good. And again, I'm assuming that he couldn't be there. I don't know that for a fact, but that would be my guess based on what we saw, because he's in a big storyline with Matt Cross. Is Caleb and Vince and pulling Matt Cross's strings? Is KERRY Morton paranoid? So a lot of people are interested in that. So I know they want to see the end of that, but sometimes, you know what, we just got to wait a little bit longer before you get your payoff.
Yeah, in the great way to tell stories, especially in JCW, you can take your time telling these stories that you get a much better payoff and the fans have a much better experience for the end of that, particular storyline. So that's one of the things I do love about JCW. They take time with their stories. They give you reasons to watch throughout the entire program and even give you a cliffhanger at the end of the program to make you want to come back to the next show, which is extremely smart. We don't see that much in today's wrestling from the big guys. Traffic Jam popping in saying JCW is the best show overall. Great show, y'all.
Thank you.
And let's see. Also, let's bring up, let me go to you, Noel, before I do that. When Vince sent KERRY over to Japan, was that a good idea for you, or did you want to see KERRY come back quicker?
No, I know that KERRY Morton is called upon a lot for wrestling. He's a very popular guy in the independents right now. You wonder why the big guys say, oh yeah, we have them under contract, we don't let them go places. That's the problem. They do go places. People are very wanted in other locations. When you do episodic TV, you don't want to just have somebody missing for 4 or 5 weeks, 4 or 5 TV tapings or what have you. It makes sense to give it a plot. On my podcast I do with Chrissy the Zombie, we have a podcast on the Russo brand on Mondays. We call KERRY Morton Tinfoil Hat Morton because he's like all over the place all the time, and he wears the tinfoil hat. But if he just disappeared, you're going to be like, okay, what happened to KERRY Morton the last few weeks? He's been seeing it, Matt Cross everywhere, and he's been going after Russo and going after Vito, and now all of a sudden he's gone. Yep. It makes more sense to say either you send him to Japan or you send him to the asylum. You send him somewhere. You don't just leave a storyline hanging. That's part of what I like about JCW is Vince Russo will never let you just hang on a storyline. He is going to tie it up. He's going to make it make sense. He's going to give you a swerve. And him sending him to Japan to kind of get a little bit of that Zen back in him, I kind of like that. I got my Buddhas on. I kind of like it. He goes to Japan for his Zen. That's a good move on his part.
Now, we did see VITO in an office with Mickey Knuckles coming in, and she's looking for that special favor that she's been after for a couple of weeks now. And I had a chance to sit down or actually just ask Mickey, what would be a perfect, ideal date with VITO? Here's what she said.
Well, there would be a lot of touching, a lot of saliva, bodily fluids, plenty. Probably would have to be Viagra. Vito's getting kind of old. Some gags, some balls, some beads, maybe a dildo or two, strap on, lube. Not that I need lube, but once again, Vito's old. Let's see, a pegging device, not for me. Electroshock therapy? Hot sauce. A little bit of wax, but not like the candle wax that doesn't hurt, like the candle wax that'll leave like 2nd-degree burns. Oh, speaking of wax, we could do wax paper, little strips. That would be nice. Mouse traps. Perfect. Car batteries. Those little finger trap things, He can't go nowhere. Where is he going to go? Oh, yeah. And a bottle of wine because I'm classy.
Because she's classy. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
What was that? I got beads. I'm assuming, for the back end, we got dildo, strap on lube. I'm taking notes for a friend. What would she say after lube? I missed that. So,
poor VITO, he won't be able to walk straight for weeks at this point. Your thoughts, Noel, on Mickey Knuckles' comments on Big VITO?
Vito's a virile Italian man. There's some of those things I don't believe he'd need. Definitely not a Viagra or lube. Definitely not a pegging device of any kind. I don't know. This is rough, guys. Sorry on me.
It's funny.
I think he'd do just fine. But, I did watch the show and I did see, poor Vito already had black eyes, and then she goes like this. I'm surprised he doesn't have more damage to the orbital area. That's a very dangerous, thing. I feel like Gorilla Monsoon when I say that. The orbital area,
The orbital area, yeah.
this is Jeff, your thoughts?
Well, one thing I noticed with this, and I'm going to use like a sports term, and I don't even know if this is the correct term, but when I played JV basketball, I'm not bragging, I sat the bench, I never played, all right? I was too small. But our coach would always talk about off the ball movement. And what that meant was when you didn't have the ball, what are you doing to get open, pick and rolls, whatever it is? Mickey Knuckles has off the ball movement, and the way I relate that to this is when she's not the one, when you're not the one talking, what are you doing? And the way she reacts to what Vito says, the way she directs him into what he's going to say next, her facial expressions, the way she's touching him, her off the ball movement is fantastic. So sorry about that. Somebody, you know, in like WWE that does it very well is Chelsea Green. So I like watching her, and I like looking for that stuff. And I see that with Mickey and the Brothers of Funstruction. They're the same way. There's a bunch of people on this roster that do that well. But when you got, you're probably going to get sick of me saying this, but when you got good off the ball movement, you make everybody in that scene look better. Not only yourself, but the person that is talking to you, because you get better reactions out of them. I thought she was great in this, playing along with Vito.
I do want to say that I think that Mickey wasn't off the ball. I think she was actually on the ball. Go ahead, Noel.
I was going to say when Jeff said on a basketball team, I thought you were going to say, man, Vito is really a team player there. Like that's, I thought that's where you were going, and I was waiting for it. You didn't say it. I was like, damn, Jeff, let me down.
Look here, if you want to be a part of the show tonight, it's very simple. It's through Super Chats. You simply send the Super Chat. We'll throw it up on the screen. Also, if you haven't subscribed, go down below, please. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That'll let you know every time we go live. All right, the second match of the night was a three-way to determine the #1 contender for the JCW American Championship, and it was between Mecha Wolf, Stephen Flow, and Shane Mercer. And if anything else I learned from this match, Stephen Flow can fly. Jeff, what did you think?
Well, I know it rains a lot in Seattle, and there's not a lot of sun there. So he's going to be pretty white like me, but he was in rough shape tonight. And I think what was happening with cocaine in the back, we'll get to that a little later. But yep, the way that this was planted throughout the night, where is something wrong with Steven? He doesn't look right. He's not acting right. Very well done by Steven, in my opinion, because there was people in the chat saying he looks high. Like seriously, like what's wrong with him? But he did such a good job to make you think, is there something wrong with him? And as the story progressed through the night, we're thinking at the end, okay, something's going on with Steven, because he's not acting like he normally does. I thought that was really good.
He's been having a little bit of issue, it seems like, with cocaine. I don't know if there's a problem there or what the deal is, but yeah, there does seem to be a little bit of issue taking place, and he is a little bit off of his game, I believe, which is probably why Mecha Wolf ended up winning this match. Noel, what did you think?
I thought Steven was took a bit of a stage dive there at one point. He really went into that crowd and was gone. It seems like he was a little more aggressive than he normally is as far as being off his game. I thought usually he's kind of the guy's like, I'm going to team with my buddy Cocaine. I mean, he got a little aggressive when he was feuding with Vito and to protect his brother from being fired or what have you. But this was kind of a little different Stephen Flow than we've seen previously. And I was in the chat. I saw people say, is he high? Is he sick? Why is he different? I think one of the standouts too in this match was Mecha Wolf. He really went for it. He really showed me something. I hadn't been a Mecha Wolf fan over the past several weeks, but I really got on board in this match. I thought he did a really good job. I really do. He stood out to me as somebody that may be a contender for the title.
I was not far from the area where Stephen Flow landed when he was tossed from the ring out into the audience. And I got to tell you, the thud when he hit that ground, I thought he was seriously hurt. I had to make my way through people just to make sure he was okay, because, I mean, there's certain ways you hear a body hit a floor and it makes a completely different thud when you're hitting it hard, and it sounded rough. I'm surprised he got back up for that match. And he's probably one of the only guys I've seen in there that has this ability to withstand so much pain. I don't know how he does that, how he blocks that pain out. I've been in the ring. I've been through certain things that I can get past that pain, but being tossed out body to the concrete, from about what, 6 feet, 7 feet in the air, maybe, and you hit that ground, that's not a good feeling. Scotty.
And Shane Mercer, we don't want to overlook him. Shane Mercer, he would have been somebody, if I would have went to high school with him, I would have tried to be friends with him so nobody would mess with me.
Yeah, right.
He's a lunch money stealer.
Yeah.
We have Scotty saying, Australia loves JCW. My favorite star is Big Al. And you're not the only one. A lot of folks love Big Al. Just for the out of curiosity, Jeff, I know that you and I had mentioned things about different people on the show, and Big Al was
you broke up a little bit there, Mac. You broke up a little bit there. Just
I'm sorry. Yeah, you had a comment that you wanted to make about Big Al. You want to share that with us?
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about Big Al is she's getting a very loyal fan base to the point where we've seen her a bunch of episodes where she's in multiple segments, threads throughout the show. If she's only in one or two things, you know what I see all over the place? Not enough Big Al. Yep. Not enough Big Al. If she's in something and she doesn't talk, they're upset. And that's not because it's written a way that it shouldn't be. It's because of how good she's been the past few weeks. This girl, it doesn't matter. She can go out there and scream at somebody and they're going to love it. They love the way she screams. She's got a group of fans because I see the social media stuff, right? And I make some of those clips that you guys see. So I'll put the clips out of her breaking the rules or making her own rules. These people will reply, she's the queen. Whatever she says goes. If she's screwing over Haley or Danny Moe, they're defending her. Like, hey, she's the boss. That's just the way it is. Like, she could have her own like group of Swifties. These people are loyal, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I love seeing these people going to bat for Big Al. We want more Big Al. She could have her allies. Go ahead, you can steal that one. They could be her allies. Okay? Yeah. But what I really like tonight, and I know, and that's a good thing. When they say there's not enough of somebody, it's because that person has made you want to see more of them. And what that did tonight, did Big Al talk tonight? No. But she didn't need to. Why? Because tonight, she was the reason that J-Rod looked good. Because if J-Rod beat up a first-time person on the show that we're not familiar with, okay, well, look at J-Rod. She should beat her ass. But when she beats up Big Al and she cheats and does a Big Al thing and changes the rules and use brass knuckles, that means something. And that's because of the way that Big Al has evolved herself over the past few months, where, she's become the point where we want Big Al all over the show, but she doesn't need to be every single time because it means more when she is. And she's just one example. There's a lot of people that I've seen stepping it up and getting their own fan bases, but with her in particular, I'm seeing a lot. I see you guys out there talking up Big Al. Keep that up.
I want to mention too that Big Al, when I was doing the interviews over the weekend, she is so good on the microphone, and she's one of those one take individuals, which is a great thing to have, and the capability to be able to do that. I would throw things at her and pow every time. First take, pow, another first take. She's just that good. And she's also still very young to this business. Despite the fact that she is so good, she's still young in this business. So, so many possibilities for Big Al in her future, I think. Noel, you want to say anything?
I would kind of want to include all the girls in the comment I want to make. I think that over the last several weeks, JCW has built up such a great stable of women that can really work.
Yes.
Big Al, get in the ring, can wrestle, can talk on the microphone. J-Rod, good looking girl, get in the ring, can wrestle. She's coming up to be on American Gladiators. You got Haley J. She's out there doing other things. She did the slap fight stuff. She's done other stuff. These girls, Danny Moe, these girls can get in there and they can get physical. Last week they did the street fight, and I sat there and I watched it, and I had my girlfriend with me, and I said, these girls can really go. Sometimes you have people that are very timid. Sometimes you have ladies that don't want to get out there, get in a street fight, really throw, go out, use props. Because a lot of times people go to that throwback where women didn't do that. Oh, roll around and do this, you know, show this, wear this. And that's great in your show. That's fine for what you do. But these girls know their craft and they get in there. And I think every week they get better and better and they shine. I think that this women's division is only going to get better from here. And I think Big Al and J-Rod, I think, are going to be the big stars of this division this year, 2026.
I think you're absolutely right. I do like to see that the women, when it comes to hardcore matches, when you got someone like Mickey Knuckles on your roster and you're another female wrestler and you're going to do hardcore, you got to look at Mickey, because if you're doing it anything less than Mickey, you're not doing it right. You've got to make it look hard, tough. You got to lay stuff in and make it look real, because the fans want to believe what they're seeing. And there's no better way to make a fan believe than to have them right in front of their body, you know, right in front of them, see somebody get hurt, you know, and get that slap across the back or across the chest with the chop, whatever it may be. And so I like to see the women's division, as much as they are right now, just as strong as ever. I don't think we have one single weak female roster member. I don't think we have one, not that one that I've met yet, at least. So it's good to see that we have such a strong roster. I do want to mention too that Jasmine St. Clair, another one of the female ladies of JCW, her and the Monster Corp are back, as Jasmine is giving a pep talk to her guys. Mr. Happy, who we never hear from, gets so excited when Jasmine's asking, "Is everybody ready?" And all of a sudden, Mr. Happy says, "Fuck yeah." The first two words we hear out of his mouth are those two words. Jeff, did that floor you when you heard him speak?
Yeah, and one thing I do during the shows is I try to look at what I call chat pops, where if something happens on the screen and then the chat starts going really fast because they're reacting to it, whether they like it or they don't like it, what are they talking about, right? And tonight, that was one of the big one. They were popping for that. It's nice with the live chat, because that's kind of the only place outside of the arena where you can see an instant reaction from the people watching the show. Because if somebody watches it tomorrow, you don't know, if they don't leave you a comment, you don't know what they're popping for, right? Or you don't know what they don't like. But in the live chat, you can see that stuff instantly. And that Mr. Happy thing, they really popped for that.
Noel, did you get a little shocked when you heard Mr. Happy speak?
I had no idea Mr. Happy could talk.
I didn't either.
I know he does a lot of things. He puts a mask on his teddy bear, and when you kick him, he jiggles like a bowl full of jelly. But talk. And even Jasmine just stood there. He says, "Fuck yeah." Just, what did you say? Everybody just stood there, and it just faded off. And I said, that was perfect. That was perfect. Mr. Happy. He's so jiggly.
Yeah, I love Mr. Happy. I even made a comment to him that, again, that's another one of those characters. If you watch him, you know, do that character, he is so good. Even with the little small claps that he does like this, there are little tiny things like that. And I say this all the time in wrestling, and people always wonder, what do you mean by the little things? That's a little thing. Just the hand clap.
Like this.
Yes, things just like that make the character, which I love. All right, let's talk about J-Rod and Big Al. We were talking about them.
I'm not ignoring you guys. Producer notes. I'm not ignoring you guys.
Oh, okay.
Don't want you to think I'm being rude here.
He's falling asleep on us. J-Rod and Big Al in a match, a fight. Let's just say that. And Brass Knuckles came into the situation here with J-Rod taking out Big Al. There you go, Jeff.
Well, I think we lost you there. But one thing I did kind of cover a lot of this already. But you know, why was this a fight and not a match? And the reason why is we see this a lot, and this is a Vince thing. This is something he's studied, Vince Russo, excuse me, for many years, where people will tune in more for a fight than they will a match. So if we're going to do a match this early between those two, most likely it wouldn't do as good of a viewership as this fight will. But by doing this fight now, when they do have a match, this raises that matchup even more. So the more stuff that these two do, backstage last week when J-Rod jumped her, this week in the ring, when they finally have a match, people are going to care and they're going to watch it and they're not going to fast forward it, and they're going to decide who they want to win, and then watch the whole entire thing and hope that whether they want J-Rod or Big Al to win, that they do. So that's why sometimes you see these fights that aren't exactly matches. We saw another one with J-Rod and Haley a few weeks ago. This is building up J-Rod, because I'm seeing a lot of Kurt Angle stuff with her here. You know, like she's the big legitimate American Gladiator. Like, that's a shoot. She's going to be on American Gladiators. So why is she using brass knuckles? Why is she cheating? Yes. Right? That I love that stuff. Like, to me, that's a layer to her that I think we're going to probably see more of.
Let me ask you too, just out of curiosity, when it comes to the female performers of JCW, do you think they're all carrying the right heel versus face character? Or do you think that maybe somebody would be better off as a face or as a heel? Noel?
You know, I kind of, and just to touch on a little bit of what Jeff said in that, I think that they have a good amount of, women are always going to be sassy. They're always going to be nasty. They're always going to be bitchy. It's just our cattiness in us. Trust me. I'm a female. I know how we are, right?
Yep.
I think somebody like J-Rod, who is an all-American kind of Kurt Angle-y type of character, we needed to see her trip over into the heel side today, because she comes out, she's this all-American looking. She's got to show that heel side. She's got to show that monkey see, monkey do. I'll punch you in the face with these brass knuckles. I will fuck you up.
Yep.
Don't confuse this. I'm an all-American girl. I will punch you in your fucking face. I think we need to see that. I think the lines sometimes need to be blurred when you're dealing with girls and sometimes guys. Tonight we had two teams in the ring that are essentially faces. I'm jumping a little forward, but we had Tony and Willie in the ring, and we had the Brothers of FUNSTRUCTION. Sometimes you got to blur those lines a little bit. JCW is kind of like nowhere else. It's its own playground. So I don't know if necessarily we have full faces and full heels. I kind of think it's its own universe. And I was talking about there's like levels of pyramids that you go through in JCW, where you start with humans and you work your way up to zombies and then monsters and then clowns, like you work your way up. I think JCW is a whole different world. So as far as the females being heels and faces, I think the lines are all blurred with the females. I think you're just going to see some kick-ass action from all of us.
Yeah, I agree with that, Mac. I want your thoughts on this, but the way I look at it is, and I may be wrong, but this is the way I look at it. And I take somebody like Hollywood Haley J. If she's a baby face or a heel, to me, she's going to be the exact same person, because that's who she is, right? Yep. Same thing with Danny Moe's going to be who she is. Big Al's going to be who she is. J-Rod, whoever it is. Do you like them or not because of who they are? So the audience can decide whether they are a baby face or a heel, if they like who they are or not. So a lot of times it's not trying to tell the audience, you're going to cheer so-and-so because we want them to be a baby face. Sometimes the audience says, you know what? She may be acting like a complete asshole, but we love her. So you don't necessarily change who she is because she's now a baby face because the crowd loves her. They love her because she's being an asshole, so leave her that way. And the crowd kind of decides that she's our favorite. So I think, especially with what we've seen with the women so far, they're doing that great.
Yeah, we get Till 5 Wrestling saying face and heel is outdated. Characters have layers,
exactly.
Which I agree is exactly what Jeff is saying there. And also, I did have a chance to catch up with Big Al a couple hours after that fight, and here's what she had to say.
I gotta give it to you. You're really smart with your little plays, thinking that, you know, you can get your little ring girl or your best friend or whatever you want to call her in there and beat me up. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter who I bring, because next week I'm going to come in there and I'm going to beat you both till you're sorry. You know,
I thought we were off, so you're going to have to play that again. It didn't show.
Yeah, I didn't think it did.
Yeah,
it
didn't show.
So while you get that set up, guys, look at this. Insane Clown Posse, Unaccepted, Volume 1, The Wrestling. Dude, look how big this book is. Look how freaking big this thing is heavy as hell. Look at all these pages. These pictures are absolutely freaking amazing. You can get this right now in the Psychopathic Vault. Get it. I'm telling you. Sean Oliver wrote this. There's stuff from Vince in here, Eric Bischoff, a bunch of people. This book is amazing. You guys should get this.
Did you say Vince?
You can go get it. Yeah, Vince is in here. Yes.
And Eric Bischoff.
Yeah. I doubt they sat down together. I'm pretty sure
they love each other. You know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. But I know
mixing cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the Big Al video didn't play for some reason. We could hear it, but we couldn't see it.
Let's see if we can pop it up there one more time. If it doesn't work,
you know what, J-Rod? I gotta give it to you. You're really smart with your little plays, thinking that, you know, you can get your little ring girl or your best friend or whatever.
Well, okay. It just doesn't want to play. It doesn't like us tonight. So, all right, let's talk about something else that happened tonight. There was a vignette, and Jeff, I want to get your take on this. Any idea who the Green Phantom may be?
He's here. He's a hero. He's here to save us.
Did you catch that, Jeff?
I love these vignettes.
He's a hero.
I love these. I always think back to Mr. Perfect, Val Venus. These are great ways to introduce people before they ever come out in front of a crowd. So the first time they come out in front of the crowd, you know who they are. And by the time when the Green Phantom shows up, we all know he's the hero here to save us, to stop cocaine from doing cocaine and Too Tough Tony from drinking and everything else that's going on, right? He's going to save everybody. So we already know that. And I'm intrigued with Father, as it looked like he was being called, bringing Red Love. That's what it said, right? I don't know anything about him, but the beauty of that vignette is I want to see the next one because I want to know what the hell that is. So I think these vignettes were really well done.
You know, Jeff, and that's one thing that I think that Vince and I have spoke about in the past is that they've gotten away from doing the vignettes of introducing new people to the roster and things for you to watch. And that's something that he's doing in JCW. And it makes a big difference because when people are watching the show, just casual fans, you all of a sudden make them start wondering, who is this cat? And they're going to stick around to find out when he debuts. Noel, your thoughts?
It's Sami Zayn.
Damn if it doesn't look like him sometimes from his early days.
El Generico vibe.
Yes.
It gives that Sami Zayn vibe. I honestly hope he comes in and he cleans up JCW. I hope he gets cocaine to stop doing cocaine and maybe get Stephen Flow to stop wearing flannel and, you know, things like that. He just wants to clean the place up for the good of the city. I really hope that's where it goes because if it does, I will die. That will be my favorite thing if he does that. It'd be fantastic.
We do have another match that came up tonight, and that was WILLIE MACK and Too Tough Tony versus the Brothers of Funstruction. And after it was all said and done, we had a new JCW Tag Team Champion, and that was WILLIE MACK and Too Tough Tony as they get their hands raised, at least for a little bit of time. Jeff, your thoughts?
I like how Joe and VITO were like selling, why are these guys getting a tag shot when they just got off a suspension? Because that's what the audience is thinking, right? So when they get across what you're thinking, that's always great storytelling. And so, okay, well, we don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Why in God's name would they give the, well, okay, then it makes sense when VITO comes in because he just wanted to screw the Brothers of Funstruction. So I thought that was well done. What did you guys think of that finish when they all got up on the turnbuckle? It looked like a car crash, but I think that was great that it did. Look how big these guys are.
Yeah.
Like that is what should happen when these guys are going up there, right? They should all get hurt from that. So I thought that looked really good as far as that. But what did you guys think of like the tag titles, the tag title switch, and VITO, of course, stealing their bag of tricks.
VITO. I think I actually during the show I text Jeff, and because I was dying laughing because WILLIE MACK was actually working the scarf, and I said this popped me. This was the best part of the show for me. I loved it. I love that. I love the clown so much. I think the brothers are great. I think that Tony not being able to hit his Juggalo brothers. Again, we're talking in the ring. These are two faces, supposedly faces in the ring. Tony going, I can't hit my brother. Well, I can hit you. Let me get you with this flower. And let me, you know, it's just different levels and layers of people. Just like real life, people are not black and white. Everybody's color. And you see here, Tony is showing, you know, I got a heart. And then later on, again, does the same thing, going, listen, you're my brother. I don't want to win this way. You take this back. It's the same thing. He did it in the ring. He did it backstage. It flowed nicely in the story. I thought it made sense. Now, are they going to get a title shot? Because the brothers of FUNSTRUCTION, they got the belts back. They didn't want it. Are they going to give them a title shot? Or are they going to go, now we got him and you didn't win. So, there we go. We've got to see what that develops into. Good storytelling.
Now, I did ask the guys, Too Tough Tony and Willie Mack, about handing those titles back, and here's what they had to say. On in here, gentlemen, this is the JCW former tag team champions, Willie Mack and Too Tough Tony. Guys, I don't know what was going through your mind when you handed those titles back. Tell me.
Well, I mean, we are juggalos, and we take care of juggalos. Brothers of FUNSTRUCTION are juggalos. They're our homies. And we don't want to win it that way. We want to win it fair and square.
So what do you propose?
I mean, I'm sure we're going to run into them again one day. And, you know, and then we'll just have to see who the best man is. We don't want to win like that. We are true champions right here.
All right, guys, I appreciate it very much.
No problem. Anytime.
What a handsome interviewer there, huh?
Yeah, how about who was that guy? I don't know that guy.
Yeah, I tell you, Mac, I told you earlier, they get mad. They get mad if there's not enough Big Al. We got to get that Big Al video.
Yeah, got plenty of Big Al. I don't know why that video didn't work, but yeah, we'll have more Big Al actually next week as well. Let's talk about.
I like that. No, that was a good question because that's what a lot of people want to know, right? Okay, why would you do that? You're the champions. That was good. I like if we're gonna have a lot of that type of stuff on this show. This show is going to be very cool for people to tune in to get extra stuff like that, I think.
Oh, and you ain't seen nothing yet. Tonight's show is kind of very tame compared to what is coming in the weeks ahead. I promise you, things are going to get drastically more entertaining and backstage than you could ever imagine.
My outfits get less and less as the weeks go on.
Hey, all right. And there's a reason to come back each and every week right there.
No, don't worry, mine won't. I won't.
Jeff will wear more clothes as the weeks go on.
We've got to see if we can get Jeff out of his ball cap. Jeff's
ball cap will get bigger each week.
I'll have two of them. I'll have one
on either side.
Let's talk about Stephen Flow, who went flying earlier in the night. He calls out Shane Mercer, of course, which led to a crazy fight around the arena. It ended after Cocaine comes out to help Stephen Flow. And the backstage after the match, Cocaine checked on Stephen Flow, to which Flow walked away upset, and Cocaine looked confused. Jeff?
Well, and Stephen was rubbing his face a lot. There's something going. I think Cocaine may be realizing he's been kind of a negative influence on Stephen, that Stephen may have gotten into his stuff and can't handle it as much as Cocaine can. That's what I'm getting out of this. Anyway, that's what I'm getting out of this whole entire night is Stephen is struggling. Cocaine had to bail him out twice. Normally they help each other. It's 50-50. We've seen Stephen come out and help Cocaine and the other way around. But tonight that wasn't the case. Stephen needed help twice to be saved, and he wasn't acting himself backstage. So I think Stephen's having some issues, and Cocaine is figuring out what those are.
So you don't think it's at Cocaine? You think he's just disappointed in himself and his work?
Who, Stephen?
Yeah.
No, I think he's been getting too much booger sugar.
Okay.
Listen, maybe he just got his pearl jammed, okay? He just got his pearl jammed. It's all right. He'll be better next week.
I've never heard booger sugar before.
Booger sugar, like the
70s. All right, our next match 7 of the night, is our main event. It was an elimination match. The Lucianos versus the Jasmine St. Clair Monster Corp. Special guest announcer was Caleb Conley. And what did you think about this main event, Jeff?
Well, I do know that Violent J was not happy with this main event because it did come across very rushed, especially when you're in an elimination match and guys got pinned really quickly. You know, it was like one move out, and then we're already down to one person on one side. So I don't know the specifics if they thought they were short on time or what was going on, but the way it turned out, I know Violent J was not happy with it, and I know a lot of the chat weren't happy with it either. But he's on the same page with you guys, and I just think it was something that will be corrected in the future. But it didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to turn out.
Noel?
Honestly, I liked the main event, and maybe I'm not in the majority, but I liked the main event. And the reason why I liked the main event was it built PCO as a monster that he is. And I think that PCO had a chance to go out there. Number one, Mickey Knuckles is so infatuated with Vito. It made sense for her. She's over there yelling at Vito. We're doing this after the match. What Mr. Happy standing behind her. Mr. Happy, what is he? 450 pounds. And she's really tiny. She kind of had like her Beagle Boys little thing going on there. You remember the Beagle Boys from DuckTales, Jeff? She's like the Beagle Boys. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm the only one. She's like the Beagle Boys from DuckTales. She's standing there waving at Vito and whatever. She's got to go out fast. She's distracted. She's not in the match. That makes sense to me. Next guy in, Mr. Happy's got to go out because he's just thinking, I got Mickey Knuckles out. PCO tears through everybody. To me, that makes sense. If you're building a monster, you've got to make that monster. When Vito got in, the match slowed down some because obviously Vito not a monster. He's human. And he's working the huge Congo Kong. That's a big guy. You know, Mac, you're around him. You know, Congo Kong is huge. He's a former JCW champion. So he's going to be somebody that's going to be able to square off with Vito and slow the match down. I think if you're building PCO as a monster, you got to have him go through the other monsters quickly to make him that and solidify him as a monster. Just my opinion on it.
I think it's a good opinion too. Let's also talk about the cliffhanger at the end of the night. We now know that it's very possible, and it seems like it's going to happen, that Big Vito is going to expose the brothers of FUNSTRUCTION. I had a chance to ask them about that. Here's what they had to say. Welcome, my guests at this time, the brothers of FUNSTRUCTION.
The brothers of FUNSTRUCTION.
Big Vito now says he's going to expose you. Your thoughts?
Expose us? Expose Yabo and Ruffo, Vito?
He's done a little bit more than that. He's been sticking his bald head in our matches. He's going to ruin FUNSTRUCTION. He's got secrets about our family. Secrets about our family.
And those secrets are going to stay with FUNSTRUCTION.
Hey, at this point, even so, if he wants to spill the beans, let him spill the beans, right? We've been through everything together. We're brothers.
Yeah, we're brothers. We can do anything.
Well, let's hope they can do anything. Coming up, of course, in just a few moments, we're going to have Big Vito joining us live in studio right here. Your chance to ask questions with the super chat. All you got to do, again, is just get us a super chat, and we'll throw it up on the screen. Vito will be in here in just a moment. And in the meantime, if you want to know the latest about JCW and where you can find us, here you go.
And ninjas, have we got a sweet surprise for you? Guess what's coming to Miami, February 20.
I'm guessing that you're not seeing that. Am I correct?
No. I'm guessing it's a StreamYard issue.
We try it one more time. Say, I can't even get rid of the last screen. Here we go. Let's try this again one more time to see what.
Ninjas and ninjas, have we got a sweet surprise for you? Guess what's coming to Miami, February 27th and 28th? If you guessed fat shipments of cocaine, you're probably right. Although we don't know shit about that. But guess what else is coming? Juggalo Weekend 2026. For the very first time ever, this incredible Juggalo event comes to beautiful, peaceful, drug lord infected Miami, Florida. Be prepared to enjoy 2 back-to-back days of wicked-ass concerts and wrestling action that will split your forehead straight down to you itch, bitch. Unlike any hurricane to ever bitch slap Miami before, the entire Juggalonium is on its way J. Juggalo Weekend will be unlike anything Miami or your mother has ever seen. And word has it, your mom was there in Miami when Jim Morrison of the Doors pulled his wing out and drunkenly waggled it in the crowds, and specifically in your mother's face. Day 1, Friday, February 27th. The afternoon kicks off with a fat 17,000 kilos of JCW Lunacy. That's right, it's Juggalo Championship Wrestling live. Mr. Anderson, Too Tough Tony, Willie Mack, Vince Russo, Haley J, Ninja Mack, the Brothers of FUNSTRUCTION, Cocaine, Mosh Pit Mike, and many more. Then the ring comes down and speakers stack to the rafters as the live concerts begin when Ouija Mac takes the stage. And then it's the brutally bomb-ass, barbarically badass sounds of Mayday. And then, if there's anything left of your head, have it blown off your neck, along with the rest of your lame cranium. It's the wild, chaotic fun of green jelly. Finally, Violent J and Shaggy Too Dope take your ass back to the wicked days of 1992 as they perform their debut album, Carnival of Carnage, and more. Then, on Saturday, February 28th, it's yet another megaton truckload shipment of JCW Lunacy action. KERRY Morton, Big Al Alice Crowley, Tarzan Duran, Facade, Danny Moe, and more. Then the sound system gets turned on quicker than your mom did back in college. And then, like a lot lizard on crack, it's going down all night long. First, the absolute godfather of horrorcore hip-hop. He is the great Gangsta Nip. And then, one and only Axe takes the stage. And finally, it's time for the main event of main events. Insane Clown Posse takes the stage and melts each and every one of you down to a puddle of glowing green toxic liquid. Whatever you do whatever you can to save your lives by attending 2026's Juggalo Weekend, presented by Psychopathic Records.
Noel, what do you think of that narrator, huh?
He's amazing.
Should be a great weekend in Miami, guys. If you're in that Miami area, make sure you head there. That's going to be a hell of a time there in Miami. I noticed that Willie Mack popped in the room. He's asking a question from this weekend. Did I watch Primal yet? Willie Mack and I over the weekend. Have you never seen this cartoon called Primal? Jeff, have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
Noel, have you?
Not yet, no.
You've got to look this up. I have never seen this before. And we sat down on a couch one night and he was watching this. And I was like, what the hell is Willie watching? There's no talking. There's zero talk in this entire cartoon. But it's one of the funniest things I think I've seen in years. So if you get a chance, look that up. But I think me and Willie Mack, the two Macks, are going to be watching Primal every time we're on the road because it's a fantastic show. All right, Max, we have a special guest I want to bring in here.
Real quick, though, before we move on, because we need to ask our special guest about this moment at the end of the show. Because this Violent J is back in the arena.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been waiting for that.
And of course, the only person that wasn't looking forward is our guest right here, Mr. Big Vito. Good evening, Mr. Vito.
Mac.
Yes, sir.
It took 3 hours to get to this part with your cheap ass friggin' podcast friggin' stuff you got. Your friggin' cable system sucks. All right? Look, you have a goddamn job here. Jeff Lane, you keep me waiting, and you dressed up like a friggin' juggalo. What the hell you doing? It's friggin' Thursday night at school, my night. I'm supposed to get out of here. I got things to do. But you could watch old Mac there, and I say old Mac, trying to fiddle through with his bifocals, pressing buttons. Oh, I don't think that's going to work. Let me try this button. Right? You look like a freaking jackass.
Jeff, Vito looks like he may use the word booger sugar in that outfit. Look at him.
He does look good. He does look good. I'm not gonna.
I don't know. He's got on some funky fedora, whatever the hell that is.
No, it's not funky. It's a $500 Versace hat, something you'll never have. All right, and you're keeping me from my gourmands. It's Thursday night. It's Cosmo night.
Excuse me, that's a Versace bracelet. I don't know what you're talking about. Some of us own Versace, sir.
Look here, we all know that Big Vito gets that hat from Temu. He's not fooling anybody. So.
Temu hats.
You know what's funny? You said my hat is from Temu, but just because Willie Mack gave you $2, all right, now you're a $2 player, okay? My friend Willie Mack, he's so great. We shared movies, we shared popcorn, and when I took out my dentures, Willie Mack gave me the cup to put them in. Big fucking deal.
Now I see why everybody thinks you're an asshole. All right, so if you'd like to speak with Vito, all you simply have to do is send us a super chat, ask any question you like, or leave him a comment if you want. Put him down. We don't give a damn, to be honest with you. So just make sure you join us. Super chats, we'll put them up on the screen. Make sure you subscribe as well. Vito,
all right, now that I got that out of my system, Mac, how the hell you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Vito. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Jeff Lane?
What's up?
That's all you have to say is what's up?
That's all I have to say.
That's it.
No.
I mean, I was there when you started with Russo. I was there when you were a puppy on the paper going to the bathroom. And look at you now. You're a Mongol. You're running shit.
We did a few episodes. Me and Vito back in the day of getting color. We did a few episodes of those, if you remember that.
Yeah, getting color exercise. You know, I'm a long-time standing member of the Vince Russo brand. I happen to be part of the groundbreaking segments from Vicious Vince's radio that helped catapult this organization that's in the secret vault. And I helped Vinny Roo get his job over at the WWF back in the day because I was working for them. You know, I opened up the brand. I'm the groundbreaker. Okay, the head cracker. You know, I'll take your lunch money and your milk money and go date your mom at the same time. You know, that's what we're about. I don't understand. And then you keep me waiting in this chat for a goddamn hour. You didn't even send refreshments. Jeff Lane, you know better than this.
Vito,
can we talk now?
Giggling under your big hat, Jeff Lane. You stupid son of a bitch.
Hey, I'm getting a producer note. I'm sorry there. I was trying to read that. But
Vito, what do you got to say? How come there's no questions popping up? People, my time is money. Money is my time. Let's go.
Maybe we should all get producer notes. I'm going to get a producer note in a second, if that's all right.
Oh my God.
Vito, you might be able to get more questions if you take that hat off, because actually we can barely see you and we need more light on that face. Not that anybody wants to see your face, but
he's so tan. How do you get a tan like that?
Nobody wants to see my face.
We can't see you. You're so tan. I thought I was talking to Willie Mack.
Right. Let me take off the hat for you, all right?
There you go. Join the Ball Brother Club.
All right. Now we got the Miami vibe here. All right. You happy? All right. Look at all the Jugalettes. They're friggin' lining up right now. Jugalettes. So let's go over the show. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
We got T5 Wrestling saying, "Till the Don, show the Don respect that he deserves."
Thank you very much. That's what we're talking about right here. Show the Don some respect. I'm putting in my time here at JCW, and it's because I am the main event of this show. I am the reason people watch. For the months that I've been here, we went from 10,000 to over 50,000 views. We got the chat from 3 to over 2,000 live in the chat. That's not counting everybody that shares, and that's not counting everybody that does their own play-by-play. And by the way, guys, I gotta say, this show right here is the show to watch because we have 3 people who are truly invested in JCW, guys who are coming to work. These people right here are helping put JCW on the map to do bigger and better things. My kudos to you while I was watching, because I thought this was very, very educational. informative, and you guys gave a good analysis of what JCW is all about. Guys, this is the show to watch after Lunacy.
Now, we appreciate that, Vito. But now I got to say that Willie Mack has a question. He wants to know why you're wearing sunglasses indoors, fool.
You want to know why, Willie? Because I have places to go tonight, Willie. I'm not going to sit there at home and eat chocolate bars, and ho-hos and watch cartoons. I actually have my Mercedes outside running because I'm going to a club tonight, Willie. And I'm going to kick it, old school style. You know what I'm saying? While you're going to sit home in your little cabin in the woods, I'm going to be out in some nightclub, with some ho-hos and some hotties. That's what I'm talking about. That's the lifestyle. That's the jet set way. All right, Willie? And thank you for your $2. We appreciate it.
All right, we have Danimal saying, does Vito secretly drink Faygo juice?
Are you out of your fucking mind? Do I secretly drink fucking Faygo? I banned that shit. It's Dago juice for all you sons of bitches out there. Dago
This is an actual Dago juice.
All right, I sell it. I got my own company of Dagos. Yeah.
I got to be honest, I have not had the first Faygo drink yet. And I spent the entire weekend, I was looking at it in Joe's refrigerator and I saw some sitting in there. So one of these times, maybe I'll sit down with Big Vito and we'll sample a variety of different Faygo when I'm at the shows and maybe see
Try the
his
cotton
real
candy. Try the cotton candy. I heard it's delicious.
So, the one thing about the Faygo juice, I got to tell you, right? Now, all seriousness, guys, right? Coming into JCW, it was definitely an eye-opener because if people don't know about what a juggalo is, and since this is a new show and everybody's there, they might be new to watching, juggalos are very fun-loving people, right? They want to be accepted for who they are. They wear the clown makeup as a sign of happiness and peace, okay? They get to hide all their problems behind their clown face. And for those couple of hours that they're at a concert or they watch JCW, they can be free. They can be who you are, right? They can be what they want. And nobody can bother them, right? It's their serenity. It's their safe place. And then and the biggest thing is getting sprayed with Faygo. It's a thing. When I seen it for the first time, I was amazed because everybody was running to the VIP section all the way up at the front. And I thought, wow, this is really cool, because people just wanted to be loved with Faygo. I guess if you sprayed with it. Now, drinking it, I don't know, but these people will wear it 24/7 every day, and I think that's pretty cool for the juggalos. Juggalos is a lifestyle that should be embraced by the world because I think the world would be a much happier place. My take on what the juggalo lifestyle is.
Vito, I don't disagree with you. I have like I said, this past weekend was my first time with JCW, and I got to see this audience because I was out with them during the shows. I was in the audience, and I got a chance to really see what the juggalos were all about. Let me tell you something. These are family. People bring their kids in there as well. You got moms, dads. You got a variety of all types in there having a great time. And to see that many people having a good time, and I say that many people, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of people who come to these shows and fill out the space that we have. This is a fun event. If you're trying to find something to do on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night, whatever night it may be, the JCW shows up near you, you need to take advantage of going to see this show because it is a lot of fun. And as Vito said, everybody is welcome. Everybody.
What's a great thing is that kids were not coming to JCW events in the past. And every week we see more and more kids in our audience.
Yes.
So I, for one, have cut back quite a bit on the cursing and the F-bombs because you got to be respectful. Miss Harlow also knows that I practice this. And even like in the home, like when you're away from this lifestyle, it's very low key. And Jeff Lane knows me also for a very long time. He's just like to be mellow. But when you're in the spotlight and you're doing your thing, you got to bring it. And that's what has brought a lot of attention to JCW. this is what has established us as a company that is about to break out big. And with hosts like yourselves, knowing our brand and product, that could share this knowledge with the fans going forward. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be a regular show weekly after Lunacy. Am I correct?
That's correct.
So with you three people educating the world out there, it will be a monumental step forward for this brand of JCW.
Jeff, you have any questions for Big Vito here tonight?
Yeah, I wanted some insight on when you're backstage with people like the Brothers of FUNSTRUCTION, or even when you're doing stuff with VIOLENT J or Cocaine, whoever it is. One thing I was telling Vince, it seems like when you're in a scene with somebody, you have a great ability to allow them to get themselves over and be themselves. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but you are like the perfect, okay, you want to show everybody who you are. I can let you do that. And I don't know if that, me and Vince were talking about this. Is that something you've learned over time? Is that something natural? Because I think when people are in a backstage segment with you, they show the audience exactly who they are, and people start liking them even more than they did already.
I appreciate the compliment. Thank you very much for that. But a lot of people forget that I have been wrestling for 35 years. I was in the territories when territories are non-existent anymore. I learned the business from the ground up, and people, if you're watching, I started in 1991 in the WWF. And you talk about wrestling the greatest of the greats, and Miss Noel is an astute, educated wrestling enthusiast who used to watch me on WWF TVs as a kid, right? And she hated my character as Skull Von Crush. These gentlemen, like the Big Boss Man, allowed me to use my gimmick at a time when I did the German gimmick. And I went on TV in a WWF. I did the German signal. And everybody was like, oh my God, he just did it. It was the greatest thing. Everybody thought I was legit. Came out in the outfit. They let me be me. And they let me shine as Skull Von Crush. When I went to these different territories, these gentlemen who were my mentors let me be me and then gave me fine tips on how to become an even better heel. Do this, try to do that. My job at JCW is not only to be probably the most recognizable face we have, but to help embrace the young talent that we have today and bring that talent out of them and make them shine. Now, if you talk about all the talent that I have worked with, I've almost covered half the roster or more, and everybody has shined working with me. They feel comfortable. It's a natural thing. I'm not a hard-ass veteran with some snarly, how would you say, hardships or bitterness. As Matt can see in the back, I'm happy-go-lucky. I'm messing with everybody back there. Wrestlers' quarters in session. You mess up, you owe a monster. Everybody's laughing. Everybody's respectful in our dressing room. Everybody's like happy to be around me. It's a nice place to be. So it's a lot easier because they don't see some vet trying to hold on to something. The vet is trying to elevate something along with doing his thing. And I think that's a big thing in a wrestling business that we miss, is that enough vets don't get out there and share that with the guys. Let alone, Mac and I had a conversation, and this isn't anything bad. It's a good thing. He said, Vito, he said, I watch you out there, and you're bumping like it's nothing, like it's an everyday thing for you. And I said, well, I saw you, Mac. You just did a show with Jasmine St. Clair on healthcare and how you take care of yourself. Guys, if I couldn't take care of myself, and Miss Noel could tell you as well, and probably Jeff Lane, if I couldn't do this and I was out of shape and sat on the couch and was not able to be Vito, I definitely would not be doing this. And I think one of the greatest things is that I'm able to run with these young guys. You know, I might not be the indestructible guy I was 30 years ago when I was a bull and ain't nobody was messing with me. But trying to wrestle and teach these guys how to be for the betterment of the company, and taking bumps and wrestling and being able to get up and do these things. Miss Noel can tell you, you know, I put myself through hell. I work out hard. I diet. I eat clean. I do everything I can to keep up, you know, and yeah, does my body ache afterwards? Yeah, I go sit in the jacuzzi. You know, I might take a day to myself to like say, hey, you know, okay, let's take a break. But then I'm back at it, and I'm out there doing all day, training, doing my thing. I would not look like this if I did not take care of myself. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people take for granted, you know?
Vito, let me ask you a question. When it comes to JCW, what's the most surprising thing that you've seen with JCW that you didn't expect?
What didn't I expect? Well, I think it's been a pleasant surprise to know what this company is about. And I think the surprising thing to know is that the respect level from all the young guys, young ladies and gentlemen in our locker room, the respect that they show me and the kindness, and, you know, hey, it's a different era, but we all get along. We're all together. Sometimes we're all sleeping under the same roof. You know, nobody's doing anything disrespectful. We're all kind of like together. I know like some of the scenes and some of the things that I'm involved with on TV, people might say, oh my God, but this is like, wow. But we respect each other as professionals. And even though it takes you back a little bit and you say, wow, this is a great scene. Oh my God, Vito's got to be getting in. He's digging in, you know. Yeah, Vito probably 30 years ago, you know, wasn't dug in, but it's just a different time. You know what I mean? And it's very professional. Like, as far as the ladies go in our profession, and Miss Noel could vouch for this, they all say the same thing. Vito is a gentleman backstage, and Vito always takes care of his sisters, and everything is always cool. So if I do get into scenes with ladies and I do things, it's with the utmost respect, and respect is a big thing that we have in JCW. I know Jeff Lane works with Vince quite a bit, and I know he speaks with Vince confidentially, but Vince also sees the respect level that comes along with it, because when Vince wanted to come in, Vito didn't want to do this with me. He was only doing it if I was coming with him. He's like, you know, I said, yeah, man. I said, let's give it a shot, you know. And look where we are now. We're on the cusp of something big. Jeff Lane handles all of our social media from the Russo brand. He looks out for my brand, you know, and he picks out all the trolls and everything. One thing or two things that I'm so happy about is, one, people have stopped talking about Vince Russo.
Yes.
It's nothing to say right now, right? Two, still all the major dirt sheets do not cover what we are doing. But when Big Vito lays out a challenge to say, hey, I'll fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, that got mainstream press. Because I'll go up and I'll fight him. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I've been a bad boy way before he came along. And it's no disrespect to Brock Lesnar, but I've been on the same corner of hanging out with Paul Heyman way before Brock came along. You know, I'm not saying I'm the toughest guy in the room, but I can definitely handle myself. And Brock Lesnar is probably one of the greatest athletes of this fighting generation. And his most impressive thing is his football tryout, because I'm an athlete and I look at him as an athlete, as it's an athletic career.
Yep.
I think it's great. The other thing about social media, which Miss Noel helps me with and handles all of my social media, is that we took on the construction work and we shut him the hell up because he's challenging people. That got good press, right?
Yep.
And so, and you got to give a shout out to Ringside News for posting all our stuff. Thank you very much. Sportskeeda, you know, Till 5 Wrestling. There were a bunch of guys.
Ringside News has the JCW section now on Ringside News. They have a JCW section right now.
Wow.
And that's awesome. You know, and that's the way it should be, because if we were producing a garbage product, I wouldn't expect people to cover us. We are producing a good product, something different, something that takes you back to when every one of us was a kid and we used to watch as kids, because we look for the characters and we look for the stories and we look for the, you know, what's going to happen next week. So you come back. It's just like Batman, same bat time, same bat channel, right?
Yep.
Same thing with JCW. That's what you want the most, you know? And I know Jeff Lane is great at finding these trolls in our chat. And it's terrible that in our own chat at Lunacy, we have people bad-mouthing our product, and we're not a major corporation. We're a company that's been in business for 30 years. Which finally said, hey, we want to step this up. Let's hire Vince Russo. Let's hire Miss Noel, Jeff Lane, Mack. Let's get some people in here. Let's do something different. We all elevated this place. I got to say that the talent in our dressing room, from the females to the guys, they give 100% every time they're there. They give their heart and souls, right? Now, is anybody getting rich right now? Absolutely not. If people knew the behind the scenes, they'd be like, wow, this is really something. This is an investment that is going to pay off, and it's on to bigger and better things.
And I think video, that's why our locker room is the way it is that because we have all decided to invest in making this product better. And when you get that from everybody in the back, you can't help but feel like a family. Not only for that, but also we travel together. We stay at the same place together. Guys, you would have no clue when it comes to our travel. At the end of the show, we may have a 2-hour ride back to wherever we're staying, and we all stay together in a huge house and couches on the floor everywhere. So you can't help but become family when you're around those people. And when you have also the same wants and needs, man, it's just magic. And that's what's happening right now in JCW.
No, you know, and you don't want to know something, like when you're in the territories, that bring this up. Being in the territories is the same atmosphere, because you travel with the same guys. You sleep, everybody sleeps in the same hotel or the same place where we're all going to stay. And everybody's maybe doesn't want to be family, but you have to be. Yep. You know what I mean? Because it's for the betterment. And when you get to live with people like that, you know the good and you know the bad. Miss Noel, who's been in the business, has seen some of the good and some of the bad. Jeff Lane has observed this for a long time, being behind the scenes. Mack, you were in the business, and you have seen some of the good and bad. You understand what I'm talking about. It's like there was a territory in Germany, Otto Wands. Go live in a cabin, go live in a trailer. They have a trailer park. Everybody lives in their own trailer. Everybody gets on a bus and goes. You go to Japan, everybody stays at the same hotel. You go to the same dojo. You go to the same workout. You go to the same show. And you can live like that for a month. I lived in Puerto Rico for 3 years. I lived in Memphis. I lived in Santo Domingo. I lived all over the world, you know, and I know what it is to be part of a family. And when, you know, times change and you might be not with the Van Vaders, the Stan Hansens, you know, Legion of Dooms, who I was on the road with and you traveling with. Then you get to the major companies. ECW was a special locker room. WCW, another special place. You know, TNA had their own niche. The WWE, now I wrestled for the WWF, which was very different from the WWE. Stars and everybody that were in that WWF locker room, it was something. That's when the dressing room thing came into effect. I need a dressing room. I need a dressing room. I need a dressing room. I was lucky not to change in the hall, but they said, all right, come in this dressing room over here, which was a show of respect for me.
Yep.
You go to WWE today, it's very different than when it was back then, you know? And being that we have somebody in the chat.
Yep, Marky Parky Streams with the donation saying, Vito looking like he's on Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out what the hell this Mickey Knuckles has got talking about. She's bringing up all these things. I don't know how I'm going to use them on her, but I mean, hey, I'll give it a shot.
Hey, Mac, now I know you're in charge of the super chats, but I did get one to my phone. Okay. And this is definitely anonymous, and I definitely have no idea who sent this in. Oh, sure. But it says, tell Vito, thanks for the nice comments about juggalos, but John Travolta called and wants his shirt back.
Vito is a very good dancer, in case anybody's wondering. Amazing dancer.
So yeah, go ahead.
Whoever sent that in, you know, I'm going to talk to Jeff later. I'm going to get your number and call you.
Effer and Blackjack saying, happy Gumar night. Big Vito is great on Cameo. Order your video, 5 stars. How about that? Somebody giving you 5 stars on your cameos.
Thank you very much. You know, and you want to know something to do with my cameos? These people want me to be in my character, right? And it's something when I'm doing it. And like they give me this whole, one guy gave me like a 5-page script. I did my best to hit every point. You know, so it was good. But the people were so into the character. And then when I go on interviews, right, or I do some podcasts, so people are so intrigued and people say, man, this is so different. And I got to say this to all the people out there. I would like to thank you for respecting my career. I know maybe I didn't get the recognition I deserved back then, but there were things behind the scenes in politics and stuff like that that kind of like took away from my shine. But over here, I'm able to be me and I have the whole package. And everybody's seeing what I have been doing, not just today by accident, but for the past 35 years. And every time I was ready to be that next level, Miss Noel could tell you, she's seen it all. She heard me talk. She knows all the stories. It just seems like they would pull it from me. And even when I was in witness protection, you know, wearing the dress because I was under investigation, you know, some people say, it was this, it was that. Whatever it was, I took it and made it mine. And I became one of the most recognizable pro athletes in 2006. I had an undefeated streak. And you want to know something? I was ahead of my time doing something like that. And it helped break open the doors for people who wanted to live that lifestyle, just like juggalos live a lifestyle. You know what I mean? And it taught people how to embrace things. And for guys to actually be, you know, if you wanted to live like that and wear a dress and go out in public, you say, hey, Vito, we know you're not gay, but I wish I had your courage to go out there and just do that so I could be me and not get beat up.
What I loved about that, Vito, was the fact that when you wore the dress, you owned that dress. And that's something a lot of people, if they were told you got to go out there and you got to wrestle in a dress, may not have done it the way you did it. You sold that, much like what Dusty Rhodes did when he got the polka dots. At least in my opinion, that's how I felt when I saw you working in that dress.
You know what? When you get a gimmick, I was taught, and this, Mac, you might understand this. When the office comes to you, there it is. There's the picture.
I love it.
So when the office comes to you and they say, we want you to do this, it could be your one and only chance that you'll get to be a superstar, get any major play on TV. Dusty Rhodes is probably one of the greatest workers of our generation. Like Stan Hansen said, we're all carpenters. I am probably one of the best carpenters to ever go into the ring, because I not only can work up and down the card, I can be anything you want. Just like you guys made a reference to me, and I appreciate it, to elevate the talent, come up to my level, so this way everybody's on the same level. And it's not like I'm this major superstar, but if I'm here on the card and you're an up-and-comer and all of a sudden you rise with me and we're here in a program together, kudos to you, I brought it out of you, you know? Dusty Rhodes got that polka dot gimmick. You know, they tried to make a fool of him, right? What did he do? He rocked it.
Yep.
The dress. And all it is, people, you want to know what the secret of it is? It's a word that probably is overused or not used enough. It's called kayfabe. Believe in your gimmick. If you believe in your gimmick, you will be 100%. This persona of the Godfather, I'm sure Jeff Lane has heard some stories. Miss Noel has seen everything and heard everything, and we even watched some.
We won't even go there. We can't go there, Vito. It's not where we could go. Can I ask you some questions, Vito? Would that be okay? Because I have some questions from people that wanted to answer
questions.
These are kind of some a little off of wrestling, but Vito questions that people wanted to know.
All right.
So they asked about Lucky Luciano, and you're legitimately Lucky Luciano's nephew.
Yes, I am legit. We did the family tree. I put pieces together from my childhood and the names of Italian history when they came off the boat and came from Ellis Island. If they changed the O to an A, and from the first names, they shortened them or added a letter. My family name was Lucania. Luciano became an A. So with that being said, there was a rift in my family where my step-grandfather, who was a wise guy, married my grandmother after my grandmother was with. So when it came for family dinner, my Uncle Joe never came to the table with my step-grandfather because I never knew that as a kid.
Yeah.
But Uncle Joe had a social club on 66th Street. I used to go to my Aunt Mary's all the time. And if you heard my Uncle Joe talk and the way he was, and then how he looks like Lucky Luciano, right? When we put my picture next to Luciano's picture, we look exactly the same. And then it just, you know, I asked a family member, hey, do you know? I know nothing. You remember that phone call?
Yes, I was there. But then when we put the family tree together and we got all the names together and we found out Vito's grandfather, and we saw everything together because we had all the documents from Ellis Island and from, of all places, Sing Sing Prison was how we connected everything. And then she goes, well, they came over on the boat with Lucky Luciano. And then when we showed the documents, okay, yeah, he's your uncle. It just like slowly came out, and it was top secret information for years. We didn't find this out until several years ago.
I married an Italian woman, and with a lot of family in Jersey. And I always told her, I said, I'm just going to bring up mob and everything else around the family. And she quickly told me, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make jokes about it at all. Because that's my nature, is to joke around about things. But she was dead serious. There are members within her family, not, you know, extended members, who may have had some history in the family. And so I was told, don't ever bring that up if you want to stay the husband.
The more we looked, the worse it got. That was the problem.
That's why I think Jeff Lane is Italian. It's Jeff Lane. I think it would be Jeff Lane.
Yeah, well, my mother's side is 100% Italian, so.
Ooh, so we all got a little Italian happening there.
Jeff Lane was Italian. I've known you for like 9 years.
Yeah, well, I'm not 100% because my dad is not, but my mom is. So
how much 50. Italian food are you eating, Jeff?
Pizza counts, right?
Let me ask you, Vito, is pizza Italian?
Is Jeff is Italian? I would give it to, hey, listen, as much as a prick I'm supposed to be on the show, I got him in. Yeah, Jeff's Italian. All right, so we get one for Jeff. One for Jeff.
All right, let me ask you this then.
Miss Harlow.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No, you can't do that.
No.
We'll do vegetables on pizza, but absolutely no pineapple. You cannot bring that into our home.
No,
but he'll do vegetables because he's a healthy man.
Oh yeah, yeah. We talked about his diet and everything else while we were working over the weekend. I'm really amazed at how great a shape the Big Vito is. If you see him in person, you'll be amazed at how great a shape he is. And he's even openly said he's not one of the younger guys on the roster, and he can still go like he's 32 years old. It amazes me to see Big Vito in the ring. Guys, we're out of time. We're way out of time, as a matter of fact. But we'll be back again next week for more of this post-show program, and we hope you'll join us. Make sure that you go down below to the subscribe button. Hit that button. Make sure you get the notification bell, too. That way you know every time that we're coming back and going to be on the show. And that's about it. We're out of time. We'll be back same time, same place, next week, right here.
Take care, guys.